for uninviting most of my family, including my parents, from my wedding. I got married in 2020. Ooh, Corona wedding. It was small and as cheap as I could possibly make it. I had it at a local park, catered with barbecue, sausage, sizzle, KFC, Subway, and a candy/lolly table. Love a lolly. You're for sure from the UK, like 100%, or just Europe. I had a very strict no alcohol wedding. Okay, period. My husband and I spent just over $1,500 in total for our wedding. Wow, that's actually not a lot.
It's definitely getting up there for me.
Hubby's parents paid for the wedding rings made by one of my hubby's uncles, and his parents also paid for the celebrant that married us. We ended up having more kids than adults at the wedding, but honestly, I thought that made it more fun. Interesting take. Okay. We love a non-traditional queen. Plus, I included every child in the day by letting them walk down the aisle first to dance monkey. They love it, and they all sat on giant beanbags and blow-up lounges in front of the chairs set up for the adults, except for the two bubs. I loved my wedding to be cheap, simple, and a bunch of little cousins, nieces, nephews, and my sons running around and going home on sugar highs and little boxes filled with lollies. Anyways, my wedding was missing my mom, her current husband, two uncles, my nan, my biological father, and his current wife, except for my nan, who wasn't invited from the start. They were all uninvited. Reasons my mom and her current husbands were uninvited. 1, they said they were going to bring alcohol, even though I specifically said that my wedding was alcohol-free. They, along with everyone else uninvited, feel it's not a real wedding without alcohol. 2, my mom told me she would make a scene at my wedding because it was my first wedding and my dress wasn't completely white and was less than $1,000. It was a white dress but with blue trim that cost me $50 from Lifeline, similar to the dress in the pic. Okay, cute. We are a non-traditional queen. I do love the blue trim. Very nice. 3, I said no to her current husband walking me down the aisle. I don't consider him a father figure. I don't even like him, actually, but that's another story. 4, I refuse to have my wedding at a church because I have issues with my mother's faith. Also another long story. 5, I refuse to invite my nan, her mother. It's your wedding. If you don't want alcohol at your wedding, that's your choice, okay? Just speaking from experience, weddings are long days, especially for the people in the wedding party. You need, at the very least, caffeine.
Ultimately, I just love caffeine too much.
But hey, if it's your wedding and you don't want any alcohol, then everybody needs to respect that. Reasons I never invited my nan. I stopped talking to my nan after she called children's services when I had my oldest son, saying I was a danger to him because I have severe mental health issues. I have mental health issues, but they are medicated and controlled. You'd lose a whole relationship over that, I feel like. Reasons 2 of my uncles were uninvited. 1, they also said they were going to bring their own alcohol. 2, they both called up different family members to try and get me to uninvite children to the wedding because they don't like children. Reasons my biological father and his current wife were uninvited. 1, he said he was going to object to the marriage because I was having my stepdad, mom's third husband, walk me down the aisle and not him. 2, his current wife called me selfish for not spending more money on a comfortable venue and edible food for the wedding guests. 3, I paid one of my sisters to do my makeup and instead of her when she's a professional makeup artist, but she also wanted me to pay her $300, and my sister offered to do it for free, but I paid her $50 anyway. 4, I wasn't getting a professional cake or photographer, and bio dad's wife started telling everyone that I'm a cheapskate. No, I poor. Not everybody has thousands of dollars to spend on a wedding. Just saying. If that's how much you want to spend, then that's how much you want to spend. There are certain things that you really shouldn't cheap out on. My friend was talking about a wedding that she was recently at. And if it was a nice day, it would have been lovely. But the fact of the matter is it was outside and it was pouring rain and cold. So I think they had a tent set up. The wedding was still outside. Guests had like maybe a heater or 2. The bride didn't pay for a dance floor. There weren't enough seats for people. There was no like sit down dinner, so people had to stand at bar stools and eat. Weddings are very, very long. I feel like if you want to skimp out on certain things, you don't want to pay for enough seats for people to sit down, don't invite that many people. Have a small wedding, have like 20 people, and really treat those people well. This is just me. I'm all about the hospitality. If I'm throwing a party, I make sure everybody's good.
We invited?
Not everybody can afford that. I understand. The fact of the matter is if you want to have a wedding, you got to consider these things. You got to make sure your guests are comfortable. Otherwise, just have a smaller wedding. Anyways, we had a magical day with my in-laws, my oldest uncle and his 12 kids, 5 siblings and their respective partners, and my 15 nieces and nephews, our 2 boys, hubby's uncle, who made our rings, and his wife, who did our wedding photos, and my stepdad. My mother still asks when I'm planning to do a real wedding so she can plan it. So are you the a-hole for uninviting most of your family, including my parents, from the wedding? I feel like they're kind of calling you cheap, while at the same time, you know, maybe they don't have the means to help you out, but it is kind of traditional for parents to help out when it comes to weddings. And if they're not really willing to do that, I don't really think they can complain. It all just goes back to your wedding, your rules, as long as your rules are within reason. But let's see what everybody else had to say. Not the a-hole, your wedding, your rules. I don't understand where people get the audacity to demand for an event that is not theirs. You said no alcohol, that means no alcohol. You gotta be stupid to think you'll still be invited after telling the bride you're going to object. I mean, that goes without saying. Like, if you're telling her you're gonna ruin the wedding, then yeah, you're not gonna get an invite. Who in their right mind would like...
Oh yeah, by the way, I'm probably gonna object, just so you know.
I object. What? Oh, thanks. What?
Okay, well then you're not coming. All the others is small potatoes. You decide your guest list and vendors, and your dress is gorgeous. Agreed. My wedding was the same price and I wouldn't change a thing about it. Good for you. Not the a-hole. A wedding is supposed to be a time to celebrate you and your marriage. It's supposed to be on your terms. It's actually surprising how many people try to like push you around, you know? Like, I've had a lot of friends who've gotten married. I'm currently getting married. Like, not like at like this second. But it's actually shocking how many people are like trying to control certain aspects. We'll say no to that within reason. Okay, I'll try to consider everybody, but you know, like 120 person guest list, a little hard to make that work for every single person. It sounds like you had supportive friends and family and a fun wedding. The dress is lovely. Please ignore all the haters who wanted to make your wedding about them or use it as an excuse for daytime drinking in the presence of children because they might otherwise be perceived as alcoholics. I feel a little called out.
Who wants some alcohol?
You should send them this thread and remind them the internet doesn't think those idiots should be the main character or daytime drunks on what is supposed to be your special day. Period. If they salty about it, they salty about it. Not the a-hole. Your guests had a blast. You had a blast. Probably because you didn't have any of that pushy energy around dimming your lights. That's all that matters in life. The uninvited were entitled and would have ruined your day. When people say they will go against your wishes, believe them. No contact with most of them is the way to go. Keep having fun with those who love and support your family. And that, my friends, is the tea. You are not the a-hole, my dear.